What is up, guys? It's Quicksilver, and let me see. I told you guys I was going to be doing the gold farm today, and eventually I do want to get a good start on that, but I'm actually working on something really fast here on the Enderman farm. I've noticed through using this thing that it seems like every now and then I'll notice a slowdown in the rate that I'm seeing Enderman drop down there, and invariably if I climb up here to investigate, I'm noticing that the pistons have pushed out the pushed out the stone bricks a little bit too fast, so the bricks are actually stuck out here and the pistons are back there, so they're blocking the spawning pads, and as a result I'm seeing less of the Enderman actually spawning up here. So what I have done to combat that is off camera, basically I have the pillar over here that has the ladder on it that kind of goes up the side here, and I'll show you this stuff down at the bottom will make a little more sense. I built another one over here, but every other block is empty and I've got a redstone torch on it, so I've done some vertical wiring up, and right about here I've got it going over, and so that it actually powers to this, and then I've done more vertical wiring up, and just as it has worked out, because this is on every other layer, the way that it's worked out is if I put a button on the bottommost torch and hit it, it's going to cause all the wiring to cycle, which means we're going to get a quick pulse out here that's going to power up these sticky pistons. They're going to pulse out, grab the blocks that might be blocking it, and pull them back. Because as it stands on the other side, I actually have some buttons in place, but it's a pain in the ass to have to climb up here every time I think there might be something going on, try and figure out what the issue is, and hit the find a way to hit the button, especially here in the middle. It's kind of a pain in the ass. So to try and combat that, I am going to go ahead right now and I'm going to do something similar here. I think, actually this is going to be a mistake if I do it on that level. I think well, no, let's do it this way. I'm hoping this will work. I think what I can do here, guys, is if I take this torch signal that I have here, oops, let me see, and if I grab my redstone, which I have, I'm going to put that here, and I'm just going to wire that around right into this redstone dust here. Really all I need to do is that, I think, and what will happen is when I push that, the pulse will come up here and it will hit that, and it will also come around over on this side and it'll hit this guy and cause both sides to pulse out, and that's exactly what I'm wanting it to do. So I'm hoping that I can just then go ahead and we will work our way up a little more. I'll ignore that layer, and then we'll do the same thing here. And now on my way down, we're actually accomplished. We're going to kill two birds with one stone. I don't know if you guys remember me saying, but last time that we were in here, I had mentioned that there were some spots here where the Enderman could still spawn. So I think if I do that, we can stop them from spawning. Then I'll throw some half slabs on there as well if I need to, and I think I'm going to need to, because I'm pretty sure I've got at least 3 blocks in between each of these levels, and I don't want to have Enderman spawning where we are wasting some space. So I'm going to do that, and that's our topmost level, so I can ignore the rest of that now. We've already got those in place here, so now I should be able to just go boop, boop, boop. And can I do it on top of that guy too? Maybe I should have started there. I hope I'm not going to run out of these things. I don't think I'm gonna. There we go. Whoa, that was close. That should be enough to stop them from spawning there. Already placed those guys, so I should be able to do the same thing here. Now these are still in the vertical wiring category, so I don't need to worry about putting anything there, but here it'll be a good thing. I've already got them there, so we should have stopped them there. So we really should be maximizing our spawning efficiency at this point, which is always a good thing. I'm hoping I can do that. We'll see. You'll see what I mean in just a second by I hope that I can do that, because that is actually my way back through. Yes, excellent. Cool. So that should keep them from spawning here. Now I'm going to drop down onto those blocks, and I'll replace my wall here, and we should be all set now. So I'm going to go ahead and just power down. I used the Nether rack because it's with just a normal diamond pick, it's just a one hit to make it pop out, and I didn't have any sand on me. Yeah, see, okay, so good. We already got those guys spawning and dropping down. I have it on kill mode right now, so I don't have to worry about any of these jackasses as I get down here. And then, alright, here's what I was trying to tell you. So there's my vertical wiring column that goes up on that corner, sort of like the one over here that has our ladder on it, so that we can still get up and down there if we need to. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and throw down a button there, and then because it's stone on stone, I've figured out a little trick. I can go ahead and I'll place a frame there, so now I can easily see that, and if I hit that button, is it going to break the button? It's going to break the button. Okay, well, I won't do that. It'll just be hard to see. Now, when I do that, that should have caused a pulse up there so that all of those things should have reset. So if anything was sticking out, they should all be pulled back. And yeah, here's our little potato farm. Like I said, I only started out with 6 potatoes, but as you can see, we are growing in nicely here. I've harvested a couple of times just so that I could replant these. But yeah, I wonder if this is going to be broken too. Oh, well, not interesting. Got a frame on a frame. See how that's going to work. That's interesting. I didn't know you could even do that. So if I target... Oh, shoot. Didn't want to do that. Well, we're going to get our potatoes really fast. Alrighty. Well, I'll go ahead and I'll replant those guys off cam. But yeah, like I said, I just wanted to go ahead and I wanted to show you guys my little fix here. If you guys are building this and you do use the tripwire, you'll encounter a similar issue, and that appears to be a pretty decent fix. And all I did to build this thing was I popped out my block here and dropped in a solid block, threw a torch on top, and then just proceeded to do this. You know, just blocked up, and everywhere I saw something. Now the only place that was weird was right here where the water is. I did have to kind of punch out here on the side so that this wouldn't be flooded, and then place my torch there, and then just continue to do the same thing all the way up. So yeah, it was pretty easy to add that in. Again, if I thought that was anything challenging, I would have recorded it with me doing it. But yeah, then we're back to full capacity on this thing, and if I notice that it seems to be running a little slow, then I should be able to easily enough just go punch that button and resolve our issues. So did that work or that? Nope. Okay. Alright, well, I'll go off cam, I'll replant our potatoes here, and then I will head back down to, I guess, the Nether, and maybe we can get a look at the gold farm design. Okay, guys, here I am back down in the wasteland of that is the top of the Nether. So totally digging this thing now, and I don't know if you can hear it or not. Maybe it's just because I'm up here or something, but I think I don't know if there's been a patch or what, but it seems there is some music that I've at least never heard before hanging out here and on top of the Nether. It's kind of cool. It sounds a little different than just the 8-bit stuff we're used to. So don't know what the dealio is there. And actually, hang on, because I've heard it once before, and I think I have it turned up pretty damn loud. Yeah, let's turn that down. I don't mind hearing it, but I don't want it to overpower me when I'm talking to you guys. But yeah, I've got to start on this gold farm. I wanted to kind of make sure that it would work before I built it, and I have a couple of issues that I want to cover with you really fast. Right here on top of the Nether, the height of the bedrock that we're standing on is actually the old world height. So we're at Y128 here. And I went ahead, I didn't really care. The way this gold farm is going to work down here, it's the same build design as the Enderman farm. So if you want to know how I've done what I'm doing right here and what I've got working up here already, please check out my Enderman farm, which was the last, I think the last 3, well, probably maybe the last 3 or 4 videos. I think I have some of the other stuff kind of in the way there. But anyway, I've just built one level of this thing, so if I step on the tripwire here, then this stuff's going to shove out and shove me off down in this little drop. That's actually about 40 blocks of a distance, and I was hoping that what we could do is I could come up there and I could just kind of hang out down there, and I'd get all sorts of zombie pigmen spawning up here that would get shoved off, and we'd have all kinds of gold. But as you may have noticed when we were down there just a minute ago, there was no gold down there, and I'd actually been hanging out for about 5 or 10 minutes, and I've already played around with this, so I have a fix for it. But here's that funky cool music. What we've got, let me jump down here really fast. Actually, Ender Pearl down here. I'm so loving these things now. It's so much more convenient. What we've got is when the zombie pigmen spawn, they drop off right around here, and like I said, no gold, so that kind of sucks. And we can hang out here all day long and we will not see a single zombie pigman. Actually, let me check something. Yeah, okay, I want to make sure we're in hard mode. We won't get a single, well, I guess we could get a single zombie pigman, but it would be few and far between, and this would be a defunct farm. And the reason for that is because we're at Y128. The way that mob spawning works is anything above and below, anything within 128 blocks of us on a spawnable area can spawn a zombie pigman. Obviously nothing will spawn on bedrock, so nothing will spawn around us, so you'd think naturally, well, they'll spawn above us. But they'll also spawn below us 128 blocks. So basically when we're hanging out right here in the Nether, anything that is, well, really from here down to block level 0, which is the other end of the bedrock below us, so the entire Nether below us is spawning zombie pigmen now. We get none in here. So the workaround that I have found for this, and the more astute of you may have already figured it out, and it's not really a big shocker, is when we go up here, if anybody has a better solution for it, I am all ears and ready to listen to it. Eventually I will get rid of this ladder and we'll make some kind of an elevator system. I'm thinking maybe a minecart elevator just because it's much quicker. As you may have just noticed, we've passed the actual gold farm, or yeah, I guess the gold farm spawning area. And what we're going to do now is I actually have built this thing all the way up to Y256, which is 128 blocks above the area where we were right there. So I probably don't need to go this high up, but I figure by doing this I can create more and more and more of those little spawn areas so that we can maximize the efficiency of the farm. Getting up here is the only thing that's a pain in the butt. As long as I have ender pearls with me, it's obviously super easy to get down. I have half slabbed up everything except for this one little area where the torch is up here, because invariably I would be climbing up here and I'd have a little cadre of zombie pigmen waiting for me up here that I didn't really want. So but really the reason we've come up here is just kind of to make sure that it's actually working. And I've seen the E thing there flicker between 0 and 1 a couple times, so I think we're actually spawning in not a ton of zombie pigmen because there's not a lot of areas for them to spawn down there. But I think we've probably spawned in a couple of them, so I'm going to look down here into the abyss that is the ground. We'll do that. We'll just wait a minute for the ender pearl to get to the ground, and there we go. Now if we run over here, hopefully they've cooperated. They did not. Okay, there must have been something else spawning down low. Let's go ahead and climb up here. There are a couple other areas I still need to resolve where they can spawn. But believe me, I've run a couple of tests and I can actually show you in the chest. If you don't believe me, I have gotten a couple of gold nuggets. I think I have about 20 of them just from running tests on this thing. So the design does work. It's just I'm going to have to dink around with making sure I'm in the right place. Interesting. Doesn't look like we have anyone that spawned up here now, so it's making me look like a liar. A couple of issues that I do need to work out though. I have half slabbed here and I have half slabbed on the corresponding side over there, but there are 4 areas where they can spawn right here, and then on the other ends there. So there are 4 areas where we can spawn zombie pigmen that are a little bit of an issue. I need to probably come up with a better solution for it. But right now I'm not really sure the best way to deal with it, because if I put a half slab in here, it's going to break this redstone current and then the whole thing falls apart and doesn't work. So I do need to kind of resolve that, and I also want to build a couple more spawning areas in here. So I'm probably going to go ahead, I'll just go off camera. Like I said, this is no mystery as to how I'm going to build it. It's going to be the same way that I did in the end. So I'm going to build a few more of these things and I will check back in with you in just a minute or two so I can show you that it's show you and hopefully show myself that it is working a little better. Obviously I'm just building this thing out of crappy cobblestone. I don't feel like really spending a bunch of time and money, or not money, but time on the design of this farm. It's not really that important. The other thing I guess to take note of is that you'll notice here I don't have a drop reset height. I have absolutely zero plans of manually killing the zombie pigmen. I don't want to piss them off. I have them all attacking me if I decide to go from here down elsewhere. So I don't have to worry about the thing with the vines and the buttons and all that to reset the drop heights. I want them all to get shoved off and fall to their doom here. So that's at least a little bit easier way that we can start out building this farm. So I'm going to go ahead and hop back up a little bit and build maybe 2 or 3 more levels in it, and then I'll climb to the top. Give it about 5 minutes and I'll climb down and we'll see what we get. So I will be right back, hopefully with some stuff to show you there. Alright guys, we are in business. As you can see, we are producing gold. I've actually done a lot more work on this thing than I intended to do without showing you guys, but it's probably good in the interest of time. Here is what we're looking at, so I'm just going to kind of do this in kind of a review kind of a style. Let me see where to begin. I guess first of all, I never did get the issue resolved that I had pointed out up here as far as the dead spaces in there where the zombie pigmen can spawn. I'm not sure there's really very much I can do about that. If anybody has an idea, I would be more than happy to hear it. I might be able to go in there and use half slab vertical wiring to bring it up. I guess around this corner, like right here maybe instead, and that might cause an issue where they wouldn't be able to spawn. But I'm not really too worried about it. Unfortunately, I do have to climb all the way to the top of this thing, but as you can tell, I've done a lot more work down here. Let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, looks like I have 4 levels here, maybe 5 levels here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it looks like 4 levels, so there's 8 total spawning pads, and with those 8 total spawning pads, what I did was I went AFK for about, I'm going to say 15 minutes or so, and the gold that you guys saw in there is the result. Let me show you, and then, so once I got that working, the next step was obviously to automate this thing. So let's take a little look-see in here. I guess the first thing that I did was I threw these concentric rings down here, just like we did in the Enderman farm, to make sure that the pigmen fall in a straight line and they don't fall outside of our kill area where we want them to die. Then the next thing I did was to I guess trying to help along with the automation was I threw in a bunch of hoppers. Sorry guys, you know I hate those words. Anyway, I threw a bunch of hoppers in here underneath the entire kill floor, and then I threw half slabs on top of those so I wouldn't get any pigmen spawning down here. And at that point, that was actually when I ran the test, and I was collecting everything in the little, actually I had a chest on this side and a chest on the other side, and ended up with all this yummy loot. But it occurs to me, and I did that for a couple of reasons. Number one, the first tests that I was doing with this thing, just to make sure that it was even working, I was going up to the top of the farm up there at 256Y, and I would go AFK and for 5 minutes or something, and then when I would come back down here, there wouldn't be very much loot on the ground. And I think what was happening was, oh boy, there we go. I think what was happening was I was actually getting the drops were actually despawning. So in an effort to keep that from happening, I did go ahead and throw the hoppers in there. Yeah, that's the right word. Threw the hoppers in there to catch all that stuff. And then I thought, hey, you know what? If I'm going to do that, the only other problem with this thing is you get a lot of dog chow. So rather than keep all that stuff, I thought, let's build a little sorting system down here. So that's really what all this mess is. And since I didn't build it with you, I will go ahead and I'll walk you through it. It's really nothing that I haven't shown in any of my other videos, with the exception maybe this little chest array here, but this is really nothing major. So, but I'll get to that. I'll just walk you through it in the order that things get processed. So, let me see. Pigmen fall here and die. Their loot gets picked up through the half slabs, because the hoppers will pick up loot through the half slabs. Feeds them around, all into this common one, and then into this dropper. Dropper, I guess as soon as an item gets put in there, it sends out a signal to this comparator, which then turns this torch off, which allows our little hopper timer to pass things back and forth until that torch turns back on again. So as long as there's something in here, this timer ticks off, and we get our little clock that goes and makes our vertical wiring here work. So we pass anything that's in here, gets passed up through these droppers, which I guess that's a bad name for those things. We're not dropping anything, we're actually ascending. So ascenders, so now we'll call them what Mojang does, the droppers. So we send everything up and then into some more hoppers up at the top of this thing. So then we get a little hopper chain going. We feed them into, at that point, once we get them up there, let's see, okay, I'm just going to actually hop up here. Once we get them up here, we're just using the sorting system that I've got a tutorial on how to build this thing. But I've got this second hopper program for gold nuggets, so, and then I'm just using dirt, because there shouldn't be any way that dirt gets in here since I'm in the Nether. So in my second hopper here, any gold that passes over here is going to get dropped down in here. When we get one more gold in here, it gives this enough of a signal that it pushes down to here. Then inside of that, our repeater picks it up, sends power to this block, which then turns this torch off, which lets the gold that's in there, the extra gold, pass through here into this chest. Once we have it in the chest, as you can tell, it's a floating chest, and underneath it I've got another hopper that throws whatever is inside there into this chest, and then another one underneath there that throws whatever's in it into this bottommost chest. So that's where we're keeping our gold, and then these other two will act as overflow. So realistically I can have 3 double chests down here of gold nuggets before I'm going to run into any issues with that. Then the rest of this little setup is just to handle the dog chow so that we don't have to deal with that. So the way that that works, coming right along I guess back here, is again, if we have our programmed hopper here to pick up the gold nuggets, if it's not a gold nugget, so anything else other than gold or dirt that would get passed into the system would just be ignored, and it would move into here, into this hopper, which then points down, and we're sending stuff. Let's go around this way, it's easier to get up, I think. Yeah, that'll work. We're sending the items down into this dropper, and the idea here, and this is what we're going to finish up right here while I've got you guys on screen, this dropper, anything that gets put into it gets shot down. I'm going to throw lava in here because I really don't want all that zombie meat. So just to kind of show you guys what we've got going on, I'll grab 8 gold nuggets out of there, and we'll grab the 4 rotten flesh, and I'll just throw them into the system here like we actually killed some guys, and there we go. So as you can see, that torch is off, which lets us know there's stuff in there, and then our little timer keeps going. And as soon as that does, then you can tell this is working because you got that kicking out. And then if things are feeding through here, we'll give them a couple seconds to go through the hoppers. And if we look in here, there's our 8 gold nuggets. And then when we come over here, there's our 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's all of our dog chow. So that's going to be a good method, we know now, to make sure that we dispense with all that stuff. So I guess at this point, I'm going to go ahead and dump our lava in there. And now that we've got that in there, I'm going to seal it up, because I don't know if you guys noticed in my earlier test there. I hope that's not going to cause a problem. We're going to power this block. I don't think that's going to lock that chest out. We'll check. We'll test it really fast with a gold nugget or 2. We'll just make sure we get them all. We'll just go with 8 again. As long as they all make it there, then we should be good to go. I have no reason to doubt that they will. Let's see, we can probably just watch them pass through this chest in just a couple seconds here. I think. Will we see it? It may not update quick enough. No, it didn't update quick enough. But there they are. So, okay, good deal. So we know that all makes it. And now, let's see if we can't just get rid of our rotten flesh by doing the same trick. And if that works, then I am happy. All I have to do is clean this thing up aesthetically and make sure that I don't have any spawnable... Oh, yep, I hear them. Good deal. Okay, cool. So at this point, guys, I think I'm pretty much done with the technical build of the gold farm here. Did this a little differently than I usually do. I hope that's okay with you guys. Hope I didn't cheese you off thinking, hey man, I wanted to see what was going on. Well, it's destroyed my bucket. But I hope that explains it well enough as to how it happened. Like I said, there's nothing monumental that I haven't already done in here with you guys before, so I don't think I'm really cheating you guys out of too much. I guess at this point, and I'll definitely do this part off camera, I'm just going to clean this thing up so it's not as ugly from the outside. I have absolutely no desire to see all this crap. The only thing I want to see is probably this chest. Maybe I'll bring this one forward a little. I'm not going to do I don't know. I could bring this guy forward a little bit if I move this. I guess if I move this hopper forward, then I could move this chest forward, and we could put a wall here with a reverse staircase, so all we would see would be that bottommost chest. So we could just come down here and grab our gold nuggets out of there, make our other gold stuff, and then anything in the system would then filter down into here. So that might be a cool way to do it. The ticking here is really annoying to have to listen to that stuff, but I don't think I think the payoff is worth it. So let's go ahead and go up top here and get this thing cooking. So we know what we have: 4 groups of 64 and then 8. So I'm just going to climb up here, and we'll let it, the ticking can just fade away in the distance. So alright, I'll get up here and I will hang out for a couple of minutes, and I will be right back with you. I'm not going to make you watch me up there because it is really boring up there. There's absolutely nothing up there except for that one little torch, which you guys have seen. So alright, I will be right back, and I will show you what we get out of 5 minutes of this thing. Okay guys, actually I am up here on my lovely little platform, 256 height. I did want to show you one thing. If you are trying to build this thing in your world, the way that I know this thing is working is, man, I wish I could kind of point right now, but in the top left corner of my screen where we have the E count for the entity count, right now I see a total of, it's probably fluctuating between 22 and 15 entities if I'm looking straight down. And I think some of those, I'm not sure exactly what they are or where they're coming from, and that's just in the total count. But to the left of that I see 0, which means how many are actually below me, and I will see that thing flicker. The 0 will flicker from 0 to 1, 2, or 3, just very, very briefly, and then it'll disappear. And I think what that is it's the pigmen spawning in and then dropping out. So if you're wondering if this thing is working when you're up here just kind of hanging out and not really knowing, if you pay attention to that count, if you're curious and you see it moving and you see activity happening in the first number after E, but I mean the second number is constantly got things going on, but the first number is the one that you're most interested in, because that's letting you know that things are spawning actually in your trap. So anyway, there you go. I probably still have about 3 more minutes on this, so I will be right back and show you the loot. Alright guys, our 5 minutes has passed. I'm still up here on our platform, but I'm going to go ahead and make the ender pearl toss down there, which takes a while to get down there because we're so damn high up. Oh man, you know what, I didn't even think about it. I totally hosed my production probably because I didn't keep this thing unspawnable. So okay, we got a lot of little friendies here, but let's see what we got in spite of them. Alright, so there's 44 more. So we had 8 there to begin with, so that's not too bad, especially considering we had these morons kind of screwing up our cap. So yeah, it looks like obviously I have a little bit of work to do here to make sure that we can't get them. Ouch. That was actually intentional. I wanted to peek in there and make sure I didn't have anything spawned in the trap, but I do not. So yeah, I guess that looks pretty good to me. I'm going to go ahead and get this out of here and make this stuff non-spawnable by blocking it all up and prettying it up as well. So I think we're probably about at the extent of where I want to be here, so I'm going to go ahead and call that an episode, guys. But I hope you enjoyed what you saw. I know I'm pretty psyched about this. I was a little concerned with making my splash potions of healing, but no longer. So I think we've got that problem pretty much nicked. So I guess the next thing we'll do is I'm not really sure. I'll have to think about it a little bit. It is around the Thanksgiving holiday when I'm recording this. I actually was planning to release this one. I guess this was going to be I think I'm a little ahead of schedule right now. So I was going to release this one, as it turns out, probably the Saturday after Thanksgiving, but I'm actually going to be out of town. So hopefully if you guys are watching this and you are stateside, you're having a wonderful Thanksgiving, or you have had a wonderful Thanksgiving, I guess, by the time you see this. But yeah, I will probably have to do something special. I guess maybe I'll do like a world tour or something, because I'm probably going to be out of town for a week, which I guess I don't even know I'm telling you guys this, because you will already know that because it will have passed by the time you see it. So anyway, if you liked what you saw, please leave me a like. It does help out the channel a bunch, and if you're not already a subscriber, please do subscribe. I'd love to see you back here, and in the meantime, have a great, I don't know, whatever the hell day it is, and I will see you guys next time.